welcome back to the Buck and Tony Show.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We making noise. Hold on.
To a new segment we call the Legend segment. Today we have our special guest, Eric Steele. Yeah, let's hear it for Eric Steele. Yes, sir. My man. Oh, I want to show you something, Bentley. We got a new sponsor, but yours is in the mail. Hey, but check it out. Look, I'm gonna take it all the way down. Look. Hey!
Yeah. Talk about. Hey, those will be on the website next week. Yes, sir.
Hey, my sponsor came through for me, big man. You need to find yours, get yours up. So let's get back to E Steel, baby. How's it going, big man?
It's going good, Buck. Hey,
yeah, man, you look good.
Well, I think, I try to hold it down for an old man.
I just got my smell. You even smell good through the damn computer, man. God, what kind of cologne you wear, my man?
It's called soap.
Hey, Tony, I know you still using soap. You need to get some of that body wash.
See, there we go.
My bad. All
right. I think every week I got to go through this. So we're going to go ahead and start the show, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys heard, Buck just introduced a legend. And off air, Eric and I was talking about what legends means, and we'll get into that. But definitely want to invite Eric to this hour of talking about, Eric Steele. And who is Eric Steele? There's a lot of young guys out there that probably have no idea and probably have seen this young man throughout the neighborhood and have no idea that he was a cold killer on the football field. So without saying anything else, we want to get started. Eric Steele, man, you grew up in Arlington, and Buck, I'm happy again. I got another guy from Green Valley on here. We'll get some Johnson Hill guys later. But Eric Steele, you grew up in Green Valley, in the heart of Green Valley. I mean, right across the street from Doc's. So if you can, man, can you just talk to us about what it was like growing up in Arlington and in Green Valley?
And make sure you mention that you did a lot of stuff on Johnson Hill. What you thought about there, T? Okay, all right. I'm sorry to interrupt, but go ahead, Big E.
Well, we won't mention Johnson Hill right now, but first of all, Tony and Buck, thank you for the opportunity to participate in the Buck and Tony show. I think this is a fabulous segment that you've put together for kind of showcasing some other guys within the North community, or what we call Green Valley.
Sure.
But also what you do just going forward in the neighborhood, your character, your charisma, and what you bring, that energy that you bring out to the world, man, is fantastic. So keep up the good work.
Appreciate that. Hey, Buck, Buck, did you get his cash app? I think we.
I already sent the money so you can,
okay.
To boost us up.
Right,
I just got a text said we got another sponsor because he just mentioned that. We good. Numbers going up, baby. Appreciate you.
Hey, that's what I do. But going back to the question that you asked, Tony, about growing up in Green Valley, so my thing is always, I was born in DC, but Green Valley raised, and growing up in Arlington, especially in Green Valley, I thought was great. I'm just a poor kid from Arlington, right? But I wasn't poor, right, in terms of with family, with love, with support, nothing like that. Just poor when you look at the economics, right? You looked on the paper, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. But I was rich with friendship, right? I was rich with family. I was rich with the church, right? And the North or Green Valley community. So growing up in Green Valley for me was the village, right? The village raised me, right? Along with the other cats within Green Valley. We lived in South Axe Apartments, right across the street from Doc's. Yep. Plenty of times growing up, we used to play throw up tackle behind Lone Backs Church.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure Tony, you remember that.
Oh man.
You know, and me, Lewis, you, Sydney, Rodney, Kenya, you know, we come out of church and go play in our church clothes,
Yep.
go on tackle.
Yeah.
You know, but then you had, you know, the neighborhood. You had Gene Moore right there, his shop right there, you know, so that was like a safe haven for all of us. Whether you was a knucklehead or identified as something else, he loved everybody. You had Docs, you know, and Docs was, I love Docs because I can go over there and play the videos.
Yeah.
But Doc, you know, my mother, you know, Mary Steele, my mom didn't play. So she told everybody in the specific neighborhoods, man, that if you see Eric out here, you call me. And so when I talk about, you know, it takes a village, I go into a place, maybe it's a little late, or maybe I shouldn't be over there. The first thing you hear, Eric, your mama said, Eric, your mama said. So, and it was out of love, Tony and Horace or Buck. It was out of love. It was out of just wanting to make sure that, you know, all the kids, hey, you know, you wasn't in a place where you wasn't supposed to be, you wasn't doing what you wasn't supposed to do, and to make sure that you stayed on a, you know, straight and narrow track, even though sometimes we also veer, but the community was looking at you. And then we had the church, right? We had church, Lomax with Bishop Hunter. We'll talk more about that. Yeah. You know, and then the Lomax family raised in the church, you know, sung in the choir, youth council, president of the youth council. And so that was a great, you know, environment, right? Where the challenge of the world, I can always go to church and get that support, right? Get that the reinforcement that, you know, you are somebody and you know, you have the ability to achieve. So growing up in Arlington, to me, was great. Plus I played, you know, and to stay out of trouble, I was in all the sports. Yeah. Played football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and definitely for Black Knights. And so if anybody, you know, knows about Black Knights, FOP, the Hawks, and Wayne Construction, I heard from the last one talking about, I don't think they had a football team.
Joe Lowe.
If you did, Joe Lowe, if you didn't play Black Knights, and I'm gonna say this, I'm not really a bragger. So just let you know, Buck, I'm not a bragger. I'm very confident, but I'm not a bragger. But if you ain't played for Black Knights A team, not the B team, not the C team, not that Saturday morning stuff down there at Barcroft with the green helmet, if you didn't play Black Knights anything, you wasn't on the elite squad.
Right.
Right. So anyhow, so in a nutshell, you know, as a young boy, growing up in Arlington, I think it was a great experience. I lived up, you know, we used to go up to Drew. Mm-hmm. Anybody living in Green Valley know about Drew. Yeah. Regardless of who you were, there was two sides of Drew Basketball Recreation Center that you played. You either played the left side was, you know, you might be good.
Or the red side. Okay.
And then there was that right side.
The white side.
That white side? Oh, you had Brian Venable. You had I can't think of his name now. But you had Brian Venable. You had Mike
Reeves. Cliff Johnson.
Had what was the Buck from WNL? Terry Blunt.
Yeah.
See, folks don't remember Terry Blunt.
Yeah.
Ruffin played over there. But Mike Reed and Brian Venable was Lamar Mundane. Right? Left hand.
Smooth.
But Mike Reed was all that and then some.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you a story about Mike Reed. So I come up there playing basketball. I'm an athlete. I always hustle. That's one thing I try to tell folks about, you know, whatever you are, what dreams you want to do, what you want to focus on. If you just put in the work, the dedication, and the commitment, people are going to see that, and they'll give you a shot. And so what I'm saying, I think I was 12 years old, and Mike Reed was on the white side, and I was sitting in that little, you know, in the hallway looking at the person. So he said, Eric, come on over here. My heart was, so now I'm on the white side, right? And all I wanted to do, I think about 13, 14, all I wanted to do is not mess up. I played probably the best defense that I ever played in my life just because I didn't want to mess up with Mike Reed. And every time I got the ball, I threw it to Mike Reed. I dove for balls on that cement.
Yeah.
I threw the ball to Mike Reed. So that was like for me living in Green Valley and anybody growing up in Green Valley, once you had an opportunity, that's a milestone to play on the white side. And after that, I was like, okay, but went back up there again. I didn't get there until about 15, 16 again.
Stuff. And not to cut you off, but finish up with Mike Reeves. Mike would shoot that jumper in your face and laugh all the way back down the court, man, and you couldn't stop it. And he treated everybody the same.
That's correct.
17-year-olds and 14. He dogged everybody because Mike Reeves was one of the best basketball players I had seen growing up. And like you said, watching him play, oh man, was something special, man.
And Tony, you're absolutely correct. And so think about that growing up, and then you see this type of player, his personality. He wasn't a bragger, like
no.
but he had swag.
Yeah.
After he shot him, like
yes.
And so you see that, and then then you compare when you go to other places, you like, you ain't better than Mike Reed.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So when you see stuff like that, man, that's why I think those types of experiences, growing up in Green Valley, right, it was memorable, and that's why it's easy to bring those up 30 years later and have a conversation about it.
Well, I'm a man of details, and I just listened to the things you just said, and I want to rewind a little bit something, because like we said, we're talking about history and legends and everything, and you said Lomax Church. It's kind of funny and ironic, because when you said Lomax, my great-grandparents, the Boswells, are buried underneath the steps at Lomax.
Absolutely, in that area.
In my great-grandparents, the Boswells. That's
wow.
my dad's side of the family. Yes. Okay, see, it's ironic. Things come out. History comes out. But
that's a little known fact.
That's right. And then, you said, I want to get quote, because you said Tony went to church, or did Tony meet y'all out on the field after church just to play football? Which one was it? I just need to stand clear.
I can speak for myself on that.
Okay, okay, go ahead, big man. I apologize. Go ahead.
As Eric can attest to it, as you guys know, the Hunter family was my family. And I went to church enough that I don't have to go to church ever again in my life. We went to church. If you spent the night on Saturday, you went to church on Sunday. And Eric knows, God rest Bishop Hunter, who was like my father, who just passed away a couple weeks ago. Rest his soul. He's like my dad, man. And, Kenya's my best friend, Rodney,
absolutely.
Lewis. So like Eric said, and I know this is Eric's show, but if it wasn't for Eric, those older guys, like you said, right after church, we went in the backyard when they moved all the cars and went home. We went out and played tackle football with Eric, who was like 6 years older than me, and they beat us up, and there was no crying. Like if you cried, they send you on your own. So I every show I do or talk to people, I wish these kids had a Eric Steele, that put their foot in your butt. And like we talked about Buck on our last show, we didn't have no trainers.
Right.
We had Eric Steele. We had a Joe Lowe. We had guys like that, man, that was our trainers by showing us the way. And look, let's get back to Eric Steele, man, because we can go all night with this, man. But
no.
You avoided the question about you actually going to church?
I went to church.
Okay, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to make sure I heard that. Okay.
Never could have made it.
So, E. Steele, you touched a little bit on your youth days and your playing days. And we talked about Black Knights, which everybody knows about Black Knights growing up, man. Talk about some of your days and times at Black Knights before you got to high school. And you also mentioned some other sports you played. Talk about the things you did growing up.
Yeah, so growing up in Arlington, the great thing is that through the Parks and Recreation, you have access to a lot of things. And my mother made sure that I was involved in everything. So I played soccer, right? When I first started out, I was a soccer guy. Loved it because I was quick and fast, but it just wasn't physical enough for me. So I got into football. a Black Knight, 5 pounds. Alan Glasgow, Rudy Jackson, Robbie Naylor, all these guys. And that was it. We played at Bluemont Park. And what I'm saying, and I'm not a bragger, man, but it is. When they gave, and Angelo Hunt can tell you, big hands, Angelo Hunt can tell you, because Angelo Hunt was the man for, when I broke all those records my first year. I touched the ball. Kickoffs, punts, and running back. But I just love the contact, right? I love the physicalness, the mano-a-mano, that me against you. But I also like my teammates, right? I like I was always for the underdog. But Black Knights wasn't underdogs, but you had people who weren't that, wasn't ready for that contact at that point. And so they shouldn't really play football until you're ready for the contact. So I played football. So I played football at Black Knights, 75 pounds, 85 pounds, 95 pounds, 105, 110. The best team I think we had was when we had the Green Brothers, right? David and Donald. And I was wearing number 44 playing football throughout the whole year. Harvest Bowl trophies. George Carter was a Harvest Bowl. He won the defense MVP. I won the offense MVP back when we were younger. But the best team playing football, in my opinion, because we all had different weight classes. You had Duck, you had Duck Brown. You had the McPhail brothers. Yeah. Roy McPhail and those. You had, other folks, different eras, but I'm just talking about mine. So we had the Green Brothers on our team this year with Glasscock, myself, Daryl Dunbar, and a couple other guys, and I was wearing number 44. And the reason why I wore 44 is because, Jim Brown wore 44 in Syracuse. Okay. So nobody knew why, 44. Yeah. Running back. Jim Brown was a beast. So in my mind, nobody knew that, but my mind is, I like Jim Brown, I'm wearing 44. And I always wanted to wear a number that had 44 or had a 4 in it, right? And so my whole, in my opinion, Black Knights was a great organization for basketball, football, baseball. Basketball for Black Knights, I played with the legendary, different coaches, but I'm calling him my legendary coach was Jimmy McKinney. Absolutely. Jimmy McKinney, basketball and football. 2 quick stories if I can. Yeah. Football, our last year, 110. I was in 8th grade, and he was our coach. We won everything. But we was in practice one day and we was dropping the ball. First of all, I'm still terrified of Mr. McKinney. When I hear these guys at 54 years old at Wakefield calling him Jimmy, you called that man Jimmy? No! So I still call him Mr. McKinney. And the hairs on my neck still raise when I see him, man. It's just intimidating, but he cared, he loved, he wanted you to be the best. And I appreciated that. But anyhow, so true story, we kept dropping the balls, catching little passes, we kept dropping. Oh, so what? We 8th graders, so what? Come here. He grabbed my hand and grabbed Daryl Dunbar's hand, no, Binky Smith's hand, and grabbed it and said, shoot at the elephants. He was like, what? Shoot. What color are the elephants? We're like, I don't know. They're pink. Shoot at the pink elephant. They're pink elephants. Okay, so that's abusive. That's harsh. That's impulsive. No. We didn't drop another pass in practice and probably didn't drop another pass for the rest of the season because we didn't want to shoot pink elephants. We didn't want to be out there shooting at the stars because we would do it on the game. Okay, so you think about the mindset. Okay, but he still will hug you up, high five you, hey boy, you're pretty good. That was pretty good. You know what I mean? He still gave you all the love. And that's what we talk about, Tony, you mentioned, and Buck, you mentioned about, coaching, these kids now, that tough love, they can't take it. No. They're paper thin. Yep. Shoot, if the coach didn't give you love when we grew up like that, you're like, oh, he don't like me.
Yeah.
You know, I can't play. So that was my Wakefield days. And then, you know, we played baseball, basketball with Richard Ruffin. Richard Ruffin was a monster. Simple as that. David and Donald, Booby Taylor played baseball team with us on that. But if I got 2 more minutes, I got one story about Black Knights. This is what I was talking about, folks, is that when people look at you or judge you or have certain a perception of you that it's not, but you know that's not you, don't fall prey and listen to it. I know it's hard, but you got to be focused, disciplined, and confident in your abilities to move forward. I say this, I'm a Black Knights guy in baseball. I got cut from Black Knights baseball.
Oh, man.
Exactly.
Wow.
I get cut. Well, my mom was going through some trials and tribulations. I couldn't get to the you know, to the practice and stuff. Okay, be that as it may, I didn't sit around, tuck my thumb or whine and cry. David and Donald got cut.
Wow.
So I said, okay. I told them. Then they were saying they weren't gonna play. Come on, man, let's go over to the Mustangs. True story. Mustangs ain't nobody, right? Nobody heard of the Mustangs. Right. We went over to Mustangs. Me, David, Donald, Nikki Haney. We had this other guy and this Italian guy. I can't think of his name. His dad was the head coach. True story. We went to the championship.
Against Black Knights.
Talk to me. And Glasscock, no, because Glasscock's father was the coach who cut us. Goes back, how you gonna cut me? You know, anyway. So, last game, championship game. Guess who hit the ball? Alan Glasscock. Because Glasscock can play baseball. You can't, I don't care what no one say, that's a bad boy.
Yeah.
I give him his props. He cranked it to left field. Guess who's in left field? For the third out in the game. This is where my mother told me, this is where that discipline. I was so pent up with rage because you cut me.
Hey, Yankees, you can take your apology out of your trophy and shove it straight up your ass. And another thing, just wait till next year.
I ran back in, you know how you run in and everybody there. Man, I threw the ball down and slammed the ball, and next thing I know, it was like the Wicked Witch of the West was coming out, and I could feel it. As soon as I turned my head, my mother janked me up, man, and took me out there and says, "We don't behave like that. This didn't teach you and raise you like that." Yes, mom. Yes, mom. Again, you gotta be a fantastic winner and a classy loser.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I was not a fantastic or a classy winner. I was obnoxious winning. What I did is just went up there and dropped the ball. Maybe next time. Yeah. This is what I tell folks. So that's an experience, right? You know, understanding that we all here want to win, we want to achieve, but you can win with class, right? Rather than with all that extra stuff. So that's kind of my
youth league.
Yeah, little league leagues and things of that nature.
It's perfect because like when I grew up, I was at those games and all I remember is number 44. I mean, Eric, you was probably one of the best Little League players I had ever seen in my life, especially as a kid. My grandmother wouldn't let me play football to a certain age. So all I wanted to do was be number 44. And I will tell you, Eric, my first year I played football, I was number 75. But my second year, because they put me on the line. My second year, when I showed them I could play running back, I wore number 44. I don't know if you ever knew that. I wore 44.
No, I didn't know that.
Then I wore number 33 and then different numbers. I didn't keep 44. I ain't going to boost it. But I did wear 44 my second year playing Arlington football there. So to segue into that, everybody knows Eric Steele coming out of the Little League Black Knights. You know, Eric was a superstar athlete. Well, now it's time to go to Wakefield. And so I know this story is about to just let us know all about what you did as a freshman on the, oh man, I can't wait to hear. So talk to us about your Wakefield days and how you was a superstar your freshman year and all that good stuff.
So interesting you mentioned that, and I'll definitely let you see this jersey right here?
Sir.
This is so sentimental that I'll share with you. I told you about this story about when you gave me this shirt, it meant so much to me, and I'll share it with you. Wakefield. Wakefield was challenging for me for my athlete because I come from just balling in Little League. Junior high school, I was on the basketball team at Kenmore, starting the whole 3 years. I wrestled, I did all those things, always at the leaders, in my opinion, winning, right? Winning. So I get to Wakefield. Okay. So I get to Wakefield and I didn't play freshman because in my mind, I was like, I ain't playing freshman. If I don't play JV or varsity, then, So I play freshman. So my freshman year, I played JV. I'm a running back. So Mr. Lee, and Coach Good was my coach. We had 2 other coaches, but they were my JV coach. And Mr. Lee ran the wing T and the option.
Mm-hmm.
Wakefield ran the split, split formation. So what we do, I'm a running back. Man, what I'm telling you, so my freshman year, Darrell Jones, Top was one of my running back. TJ Vincent Walker, and TJ Walker was my tackles and my guards, and we had some other folks. 10-0. Used to winning. 10-0. Varsity wasn't, with all of them, they were struggling. So now we come to my sophomore year. No, okay, so freshman year, 10-0. We went and played freshman basketball. Me, Carl Barbie, Rudy, this guy named Joe Allen was on the team with us. We crushing in basketball. I'm starting at point. Daryl Dunbar, 10th grade year. JV football, that's fine. Quarterback, number 10. 10-0. Same thing with JV basketball. We crushing folks. Mr. Lee said, well, Eric, probably got to go up to varsity. I was like, well, I want to play quarterback. And they're not going to play me quarterback because they have other quarterbacks, and I'm going to run a quarterback. He said, okay, well, you going to stay at JV? I said, yeah. 3rd year, football, JV quarterback.
Buck, you hear that?
10-0. So off the court, 10-0. I'm 30-0. Playing quarterback. So let me go to the experience about Mr. Lee and Coach Good. Mr. Lee is a true motivator of young men to inspire and influence, positive influence, educate, and install discipline. Similar to like you, I see how you do with your kids. I see how you do with Buck with your players. Give them a little bit of room, give them a little bit of swag, but sometimes I got to pull that collar. So Mr. Lee and Coach Good was exactly like this. Gave all of us a little bit of swag room, but when we kind of reached that corner, they pulled us in. And when they pulled us in and had the conversation with us, Tony, it wasn't about them. This is my team, and you're going to do what I say. It was about you, not just football, but what do you want to do after high school? What are you doing in your community? What are you doing to stay out of trouble? Just leave them girls alone. What I call it, the well-rounded mentor, right? That really cared about you as a kid, not just because you as a football player. But going back to football, so I'm 30-0, JV football, played varsity, still played. I was playing JV basketball and all that stuff. So this is not basketball and football. And I know I'm long, but this is how I'm connected. So my junior year, Coach Belgium came to me and said, hey, Eric, so what do you like? You like football or basketball better? I said, well, I'm really physical. And so, sometimes football is probably somewhere I probably get a shot because I don't think I'm going to grow. So I probably get a better shot playing football, but I like basketball. He cut me.
I've heard that story.
So he cut me. So I'm playing JV for 3 years playing football. My junior year, he cut me, told me I just cut me. Now, I know I was at least out of the 10 guys who were sitting on the bench, I was better than them. I'm not talking about Rudy and all them, because in my mind, I'm already home. I know I'm at the finish line waving the flag out to everybody running, but okay, fine, you can't see that, I understand. But he cut me.
Yeah.
So now I go to but he cut me and I ran track. Again, no one can stop your dream. It may be some roadblocks, it may be some bumps, and it may be some delays, but nobody can stop you from your dreams on what you want to achieve, but you. Yeah. Simple as that. So now talking about football. So now I'm my senior year. All right, what you gonna do, Eric? You gonna play, you gonna play JV your all 4 years? So this is where you compromise. I went to Glasscock and said, hey, Glasscock, I know you're a better quarterback as far as passing. You ain't a better athlete than me. In my mind, no disrespect, but he's a pure quarterback. I'm gonna go play receiver. When we made that change, I'm telling you, before Glasscock, and this true story, before Glasscock broke his collarbone, in my opinion, and I played with some good quarterbacks, Glasscock was a pure drop back pocket quarterback with a cannon. Yeah. He threw like a baseball. He threw like John Elway.
Okay.
After 3 games, Carl Barbie was on that team, Mike Moore, Mike Hummel, Rudy Jackson. Mark Braxton was a monster.
Mark, yeah.
The first 3 games, I had 29 catches, 425 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
Wow.
We was killing them. I was 3rd in the region. I'm like, okay, Glasscock, whatever you want. Glasscock broke his collarbone. And then Rudy Jackson had to come and play quarterback with a neck collar. So it messed up his opportunity because he's really a good free safety, good hands and stuff, good range. But, he's a neck collar playing quarterback. That's tough. We had Carl Barbie. He was still a beast because Carl Barbie was a monster. And then so my passing, receiver is only good as the quarterback that can get the ball to him. Absolutely. So we went to playing, hitches. Because Rudy didn't have a strong arm. But I would catching hitches and taking it to the house. But Rudy, he made sure he threw me the ball. I think I got one time player of the week against Chantilly. True story. Rudy came out of the second half. Rudy said, listen, E. Well, no, because there wasn't E then. I was Eric. As soon as you come off the break, I'm going to let it go. I said, all right. Ran it out. Up, went up. He let it go. He did. And quarter touchdown. We beat Chantilly. I got player of the week. So that was my Wakefield football career. It was only 1 senior year, and I was 4th in the region. So I got the stats. I was 4th in the region, and Northern Region, behind Steve Pitt and somebody else. Chris Warren was on there as a running back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was Wakefield. This is another story I want to tell you about. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. So now it's my senior year. Finished football. I'm going to play basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
So think about the pressure of that. Think about your peers. Eric, you sure you want to do that? I'm going to do it. I'm going to make someone cut me not before see, this is sometimes you got to make a statement. And sometimes folks receive it differently depending on who's receiving it. My point was, if you're going to cut me, I ain't going to make it easy for you. Right. So I'm going to go out there, regardless of you, whatever the case may be, whether you like me or not, whatever the case may be, you're going to have to cut me. I'm not going to let you off like that because I know I'm good enough to play on this team. And he cut me.
Bobby V.
Now, last story on Bobby V. And this is where the atonement of a person's heart. So Kenya, see, through the Green Valley community, Tony, Kenya, Sydney, Rodney, Lewis, all the folks there, and Sydney and Tony, Tony Parker, but Sydney and Kenya was one of Belgium's
favorites.
Absolutely.
Favorites.
Yes.
Simple as that. It's the way it is. But every time they would do something, who was in the stands supporting?
You.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they will always give me, homage. Thumb up, give me something like that while they was on there. No disrespect to the team, but you know how we always do. It's like when you came down to see me play away at Norfolk State, I was like, but I wasn't disrespecting.
Right.
Do that. So in this story, Kenya was coaching. Kenya when he was coaching with North Carolina State.
Yeah.
And so North Carolina State came to the Capital, not the Capital Center, but the Verizon Center. I think we were all there.
Yep.
Belgium was there. I'm a grown man, I'm old now, so I'm down there. He comes then over to me and says, "Hey, Eric, these guys really speak highly of you, man. And, I just want to say that, it's good to hear and good to see, things are going well." Okay. Because I remember when my mother, Mary Steele, yanked me up in the baseball exercise class. I said, "Well, Coach, I appreciate that. Thanks very much. Hope you're doing well. But, I got to thank you because you just added the log to the fire of what I really want to do and kind of set me straight with football. So thank you."
Yeah.
Now, some folks might think that's condescending a little bit, but it wasn't. I really felt that because the fact that you can make that acknowledgement, then I should thank you for it because it made me focus on one sport. Like Joe Lowe said early, he only focused on here. I wanted to do everything.
Right.
It got me to focus on that one sport. And so it gave me an opportunity to do well in football at Norfolk State.
Great story.
Look, I'm a man of details again as I listen to the story.
Yes.
And I want to I want to go back to your middle school days. Said, did you redshirt your middle school years? Because you said you went to Kenmore for 3 years, and I wasn't sure.
Isn't it 7th, 8th, 9th?
No.
So
Six,
you were
seven, eight.
on the A+ program.
No, I'm sorry. It's 6, 7, 8.
Oh, now it is. But back in your day, it was just 7 and 8.
Then it was 7 and 8. Sorry about that.
It was
No problem. I just wanted to, as my man of detail, I just want to see if you redshirted or you went the A+ route. You want to stay extra year.
It might have been 3 years because he played 3 years of JV football. So listen. As much as I love Eric Steele, did never know he played 3 years of JV football, and I'm for sure some of the guys that went to high school with him are going to die laughing at this because to think that Eric Steele, because we're about to tap into this, what he did in college, but 3 years of JV football. Now, Buck, my godson, your favorite player that we coached at Wakefield, Dietrich Gilreath, we give him a hard time about playing 2 years of JV basketball at Wakefield. If it wasn't for Buck and myself coming to Wakefield, he might have been on JV for 4 years. Everybody, the story says we pulled Dietrich out of JV and we wouldn't have got there because Coach Bell just said he ain't coming up to varsity with me. So
Absolutely.
It all worked out. It worked out. But wow, Eric, that's just a great story, man. And I like that. I hope these kids are listening to how you persevered and it all ties into one. So, Buck,
let me ask. So what made you choose Norfolk State?
Yeah, good point, man. So growing up in the church, right? Growing up, everyone talked about the Big Ten. You go to Southern California, right? Because they ran the ball. You go in, right, to play running back and things of that nature. But growing up in the church, we were introduced to the HBCs, the Hamptons, the Norfolk, the Virginia States, the Unions, and the Howard. But at Wakefield, you didn't hear any conversation about those schools. It was either James Madison. Well, first of all, back then, we weren't an elitist football program.
Right.
So we were always shunned towards the Division III. Hampden, Sydney, Bridgewater,
Yep.
Randolph-Macon, and schools like that, Longwood. So how I got to Norfolk was two things. We went on recruit trips. Me, Carl Barbie, Rudy Jackson, and Bates. We used to go. We went to Hampden, Sydney, Randolph-Macon, Bridgewater, Longwood, that whole South Beach. And it was Division III. We met some great guys. We had a great time. It was good bonding. And, Rudy and Carl ended up going to Bridgewater, and the other one.
Rudy went to Randolph-Macon.
Randolph-Macon, and Carl went to Bridgewater.
Okay.
I'm already home in my mind. And when you listen to Jay-Z's song "Already Home," it's not a brag. It's just, I'm like, I think I'm better than Division III football.
Already home. Hey, I'm already home. Hey, I'm already home. Now one more game.
In my mind. So not knocking it, it's just like, no. So we all went to James Madison too. Me, Rudy, and Carl. We went to James Madison recruit trip. And when I went to James Madison, I wanted to go to James Madison. So we were down there. You know who was down there? His senior year was the guy from Dallas Cowboys.
Haley.
Haley was down there.
Was Gary Clark there?
And Gary Clark, his senior year. That's where when I saw him, the size, Tony, we're little. The size, he's playing, D1 football, and he's out there giving it. I can do that. So I thought, through Coach Hushman, and I think he tried, but I thought we all were going to get a package deal to go to James Madison. Got the letters, not saying that you got a scholarship, but, the letters you get because they're interested. The coach left and went somewhere else that year.
Okay.
That was done. So Rudy and those guys went to where they went. I went on a tour of the HBCs, the Hamptons, the Virginia State, through the church.
Yep.
And I saw all of them. I fell in love with Norfolk State. It was wide open, like that. And I said, okay, I'm going to Norfolk State. Applied, got into Norfolk State, you know what I mean? So now I'm at Norfolk State. Donnie Green. He transferred because he went to W&L, he transferred from Shepherd College because they went to Shepherd on scholarship. He transferred down to Norfolk State, and he got a shot on the football team the same year that I came to Norfolk State. And I was like, oh, wow. My family, he's out there on the team, so I'm sitting there. I'm going to walk on. That's all it was. No recruit. Nobody knew me from a can of paint. I'm going to walk on. So it's about 45 of us, all shapes and sizes, running 40s and doing all that stuff. Dwindled it down to about 8. I said, oh, so 1984, because that's the year they won the championship, CIAA championship. It was huge. Coach said, okay, we're going to keep you. Talk to me and 2 other guys. We're going to keep you, but you're going to go and be redshirted, or, you're going to go work out and come back in the spring ball. No money, you couldn't hang out with the team. You couldn't do nothing like that. Basically, it says, I got your number. If you come on spring ball, you get a shot. Yeah. Well, won the championship that year, right? So speed it up. Following year, now I'm at spring ball. I got a helmet. So spring ball, I got a helmet down to here, big shoulder pads, huge shirt, big pants, all that stuff. Totally looked like a scrub. But when I tell folks about if you really want something, even though I thought I'm a receiver, I want to make the team. So you got to make an impression one way or another. So they had the block punt team. And Tony was talking about how you get on the kid punt. So they had a block punt team. And so they called out 11 guys to come out and try to block the punt. Helmet shaking and all that stuff. I was on the end. We had a coach named Bootsy. Bootsy, he's a Q. He knows if you ever see this. Bootsy put me on the outside. He said, I want you to go and just go for it. Man, that's okay. I came around that corner, man. Pow! Face mask went down, and the thing, all that good stuff. Block. Coach said, rewind it. So we came back. Block. Rewind it. So Bootsy came over to me. I'm nobody from a clan of paint. I don't even got my name on my helmet. He said, come on over this side. Didn't say Eric, didn't say nothing. Just come on this side. So he put me on the other side. Third time, came through. Block. Oh my God. Morris. Gary Moore's father. What in there? Blah, blah, blah is going on. Who is this? And from there, I started getting the opportunity just to be on the field. Yeah. Not necessarily playing receiver. So that's how I walked on in Norfolk State. I went to Norfolk State just as wanted to go to school, but not recruited. Nobody knew me, but I had a dream. I wanted to play football.
So Eric, I'm gonna back that story up is because I, as a teenager, knew the legend, the lore of Eric Steele and what you did at Wakefield and all that good stuff. And so when you had an opportunity to go to Norfolk State, we were so pumped up when y'all played against Howard University. So only thing in my mind is what you did in high school. We was just going to support you. It was like, oh, Eric Klein, oh, we get over there, and you're on the block punt team. I'll never forget because you almost blocked the punt like 3 or 4 times. You was like fingernails. And I was like, wait, why is he trying to block the punt? I thought I was going to see Eric play receiver. It was a whole year of you trying to block a punt. Absolutely. And that's why I love this story because it's a true story. But even now, 30-something years later, I'm figuring out why you were trying to block the punt. You were just trying to get on the field.
I'm just trying to get on the field.
Yeah. Great story, man.
And that's the thing, just to get on the field.
Yeah.
And so that's why I tell folks, you might want to be here and you'll get there. Sometimes you'll get there automatically. Things, the universe lines up, opens up, the solar system lines up, the planets, and you're there already. But there's sometimes you got to put that work in. You got to pay dues, hard work, commitment, dedication, and discipline. And so through that, I got the opportunity to play the position, the receiver position. And that's where the E still came from. When I said the name, I was Eric.
Right.
The guy didn't know me blocking these punts, but through that year of just being on that team, the travel team, it became E Steel.
So then what was it, not to cut you off, what was it that, in your mind, you was always a receiver, maybe even still a running back, but they had you blocking punts. What happened that following year to put you out at receiver or whatever it may be?
Correct. So I'm playing blocking punts. And so the next year in spring ball, they gave me an opportunity.
Got it.
Because one receiver got eligible, was academically ineligible. Again, sometimes God moves you or move it, not taking negative from the guy, but you just got to, but when that opportunity is there, you got to seize it.
Yeah.
So when that opportunity presented itself, I was in spring ball. And I had a quarterback named Ron Jones. And Ron Jones did not care if I had 99 people on me. He was going to throw the ball to me regardless. And, and regardless, Ron Jones said, hey, still, I'm going to throw the ball to you because I know you're going to catch it. Simple as that. And that year, I was MVP of the Spring Football League. And that's when the following fall, I got the shot to play receiver as a as not the first, but in the rotation.
And that year was 1987. And looking back, you know, you played in 9 out of the 10 games that Norfolk State had. You had 15 receptions.
Yeah.
And you had 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
And I want to just briefly talk, how did that feel, catching your first college touchdown after playing JV football for 3 years? And you finished with 306 yards. And we'll move on to the next year. But just talk about that, getting that end zone for the first time in college.
Before you talk about that, being that you were in spring ball, did it ever come across your mind, I bet not drop a ball or I'm going to have to shoot?
Great question. Great question. Great question.
Is that why you caught every ball? Because you didn't want to shoot
the pink elephants?
Yeah. Now, a part of me wants to say yes, because consciously, Mr. McKinney has been in my head now. And as I said before, at 54 years old, when I see him now, hairs on my neck raised. But the other piece was, I didn't want to get off the field. Yeah. If I knew if I dropped the ball, because I wasn't recruited, I wasn't their guy.
Yeah.
Right? I had to beat out everybody else at that time. Yeah. So I didn't have the opportunity to drop a ball. I didn't have the opportunity to miss a play.
Right.
I didn't have any mulligans, right? Because they can always say, see, I told you he was just a walk-on. So, you know. So thank you, Mr. McKinney.
Yes, sir.
For making me shoot those white elephants, because it was probably those pink elephants, excuse me, because it's probably subconsciously, it was like, I don't care about you guys. I'm scared of Mr. McKinney.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So and then Eric, I mean, so then 88.
Yeah.
88 was a breakout year. This when it really became, you know, it might have been E, but then they really put some respect on your name. It became E Steele in 1988. 1988, you played all 10 games. You went from 15 receptions to 42 receptions and 9 touchdowns. You found the end zone 9 times for 721 yards. Talk about 88, if you can, about 88, what 88 meant to you.
So 88 was a fantastic year for us, because it's all that 3 years of grinding in the practice field. No one heard of me. You know, you get your shot here and there. And we ran the wing T offense. So that was Coach Bailey's, you know, bread and butter. He wanted Virginia Union championships. He won a championship at Norfolk State, running wing T. The wing T is typically have big tight ends.
Yeah.
During those years, I was learning through with Leonard Hopkins and Coach Hubie Bryant was a great mentor to me, to give me and to teach me all the skills, man. He really took me from Eric to E Steele. If you want to say there's an E Steele, he made E Steele. Hubie Bryant, you can look him up. But Coach Bailey because of all that work, and I was putting that work in spots, showing that I had the ability to do things along with my team members, he opened up the offense. So he opened up the offense in 88, and I was identified as a preseason All-American in 88. And it was a write-up that said, Steele finally gets his shot. That's 4 years, basically 3.5 years of putting in work on that field, saying just trying to get a shot. But we did have a good receiver core. So in 88, Ron Jones, again, we played together at least 2.5, 3 years now. So we had a chemistry. And a true story, Ron Jones said, Eric Steele, I don't care if you had 99 people on you, I'm going to throw the ball to you. But because we ran the wing T all many years, and so as other teams were game planning against the wing T, now all of a sudden we come out with spread and wing T. So it opened up. So now I'm one-on-one, instead of going up against the wing T, a defensive end blocking or a linebacker. Now I'm out on the corners, one-on-one against the defensive back. Whew. And all I'm saying is I'm not bragging. I don't believe in bragging. I'm just confident. I'm not cocky. I'm just confident in my thing. And I'm already home. I just believe a different way. There's no cornerback, in my opinion, can handle me. And I played against some cornerbacks. Chris Warren, I can't think of Warren's name from Union. He went and played in the pros. I gotta think about the name. But Robert Massey at North Carolina Central. Fantastic talent. Really good. Probably runs like a 40-4 in jeans, like a 4'3" in jeans. I was giving him the business, so and if he sees this, I think he respected it. But Robert Massey went pro.
Yeah.
Played with the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals back then, and stuff. But at NSU that year, we just opened it up, and basically, Ron Jones and our offense was kicking in, and we were just clicking. I remember you came down to Cheney. I mean, when we played Cheney.
Yes, Cheney, yeah.
True story. It was a game I was balling the first 3 games, catching everything as always. I don't drop anything. That game, I had those gloves on, trying to do something different, and I dropped 2 balls, and Robert Pickett, my cousin, was on the field. He said, "E, take them daggone gloves off, man. You don't drop nothing." Because I don't. And I was so ashamed because you were there. And I was like, I didn't get a chance really to showcase my skills with you there. But 88 year was just one year we almost had an opportunity to go, to the CIAA. We always want to win championships. I don't care about stats. I want to win championships because guess what? The water boy gets a ring.
Right.
It's a team concept. So, and, we I had great games. Ron Jones, he always called my number. If it was a crunch time play, instead of running the ball, he would call an audible, check off. And we were just clicking. It was a great chemistry. I'll share one story about that Norfolk State in 88, East Steel. So again, I always tell people I'm always open, right? And people always hear that about 7-Eleven. I'm always open.
I'm always open. I'm open. Just throw me the ball. 7-Eleven, always open.
But I used to tell the quarterbacks, you can never throw a bad ball to me because I don't believe in excuses. If the ball is in my area, I got to catch it. If I don't catch it, it's my fault. Period. So think about it. I'm a quarterback. Receivers are pampered. Right? We think he never had to worry about me coming back to the huddle saying, dude, you threw the ball too high, or you threw it too low, or you threw it too short. I'm just happy he's throwing the ball.
Right.
The true story, reading your press, I always tell folks, stop reading your press clippings because it's only for that day. The next day is totally different. So I'm reading my press clippings, I'm all that, and getting all that notoriety and all this publicity. So I want to pass, went out and run a route. I'm wide open. He didn't throw me the ball. So I came back to the huddle, and I said, throw me the ball. And I normally don't do that. And he said, okay. Called the same play. So I come off, turn my head, I see the corner rolled up. I said, okay, the ball, he ain't coming. And I looked up, he threw the ball. So I had to go get it. Crash! Ooh! One of those. So I come running back to the huddle. We line out, got my head down. He said, so were you open? I said, nah. Okay, again, understanding that, sometimes you think that you should do this, or you should get the ball, or you should be identified as the man, or you should, but at the end of the day, it's a team sport. And if the team members care about you, they're not going to put you in a bad situation to not be successful, right? And it's not all about what? You. It's not all about one person. It's about the success of the team. And that was a good lesson for me because, you start thinking that you are the team, but you're not the team. It's those 9 other guys and 45 other guys sitting on the bench at that particular time.
Yeah.
So in 88, you had a 3-touchdown game. Was that versus Hampton or was that versus Virginia Union?
Right. So that was interesting you mentioned that because that game would have given us an opportunity to go play in the playoffs. And technically, that was my last game. So that was against Virginia State.
Virginia State, okay.
Big rivalry because Norfolk State derived out of Virginia State. And huge rivalry. They had a great team. We had a great team. We were coming in on their turf. A lot of this guy named Eddie Good, good friend of mine for Virginia State. He was a defensive back, and so he's a good friend of mine. So he's on Virginia State. We're on. I played for Norfolk State. But anyhow, it was a great game. back and forth, back and forth. Ron Jones hit me on a 75 hook, caught it about 40 yards down the line and took it about 25 to the house. Great. They came back and scored. We had a play called Spartan Across with this guy named Donnie Morris, was fantastic, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal running back, where we run this in around, this misdirection. So he came around, they took off with Donnie, I came around, Ron Jones hit me down the corner, took it in, third touchdown. So now we're in the fourth quarter, going back and forth. I think it was tied or they were up by maybe 7 points, they meaning Virginia State. So we're driving. So now Donnie Morris, I'm telling you, phenomenal athlete from Beaver Dam, Virginia. He got a pitch, halfback pass. So he's running the halfback. I went in the court in the end zone, threw it up. Two guys, caught it, touchdown. Just knew it was the game winner. We come back around the side. 3 touchdowns in this game. Oh man, we all high-fiving as a team because we were trying to get to the regional playoffs. So now about 2 minutes left. Okay, you're thinking, all right, kick the ball off, defense hold. Didn't happen, Buck. It didn't happen. And so they took it almost 70 yards, man. Won the game. I think it was their homecoming as well. And, scored 3 touchdowns, but we lost. And that just didn't sit well with me.
Okay, let me ask you, on that last 2-minute drive, okay? Now, Virginia State, they're well known for the woo-woos. Well, you think the defense was paying attention to the woo-woos? And they just, got unfocused? I mean, I can see a distraction. So you think that, Virginia State actually put the woo-woos a little closer to the field where the defense was like, you know what I mean?
So we're talking back in '88. I think everybody was watching the woo-woos.
Yo. Man.
If you got a chance to catch a ball on the sideline on this side, you're looking at the woo-woos as well. That was fantastic, Buck. That was right on point. That's what I'm going to blame it on right there. They were watching the woo-woos.
So, look, we're going to skip a little bit, hit your last year, 89. I mean, your numbers went down some because everyone now knows, and I understand now why they went down. People picked up on the wing tee with the spread now. We got to concentrate. We're not putting Eric Steele out on the island by himself. So numbers of things went down, but you still had a 4-touchdown career with 266 yards. You were also named in 1988, we go back 88 and 89, all CIAA.
Yes.
And then in 88, you were named honorable mention All-American team. So I meant to go back to that. So those are some great honors, man, that will always go down in Norfolk State history. So your time in Norfolk State was phenomenal, and I hope that people got a chance to get a little insight of Norfolk State with you, and you also supporting Black colleges, which is really good. So that Black college experience was great for you. So got a quick second to speak on that or anything with finishing up?
Yeah. So just to finish up on the Black college experience, I believe that for me, that was the place I needed to be. And I think that's what God moved me into going to an HBC at Black State and Norfolk State University. Tremendous environment, great facility, good facility then. Now it's a fantastic facility. Yeah. So you can see the return on the investment, right? Mm-hmm. Alumni is giving back. Yep. And then for me, as far as the relationships, right? I always say NSU, born in DC, raised in Green Valley, made by NSU.
Like that.
Product of NSU. I was made in NSU. And so not more than just playing football and, majored in accounting, very successful in that area, but the relationships that I've built with people, right? And the long lasting relationship that I've built, it really was fantastic for me. And so the HB experience is experience. If you have never experienced it, Tony, you have. You've been there now. You've been a part of that group as well.
Yes.
Even if it's just for this or that, you've been down there.
Yes.
Ain't nothing like it because you can go anywhere and all you do is hear what? Behold!
The green and gold.
The green and gold.
Behold, behold, the mighty green and gold.
Yes, sir.
So just to close up at Norfolk State, my last year was, double coverage, triple coverage. Everybody's looking for me. My quarterback, Ron Jones, wasn't available because he had finished out his academics year. And so, but we had great other receivers. We had Donnie Morris and Gary Morris and Michael Howard. So that opened them up to really showcase their skills. And again, I'm about winning championships. I like stats, but if I ain't win a championship, it's like kind of, all right, it's good, but we never won a championship.
Right.
That's one thing that we kind of left there at Norfolk State. We didn't win a championship. But it also gave me an opportunity to get a shot, looking at the pros.
Yes.
And so, that career, those opportunities, and that hard work, I say discipline, no one gave me anything.
Right.
And that's okay. But that hard work, dedication, commitment, and discipline in any event, just like you as a coach, as you and Buck running this show, you and Buck, hard work, dedication, discipline, man. These are the results that you get. So at Norfolk State, when I finished up my career, I got an opportunity to test the, NFL, right? I mean, I got notification from Ben Wilson. Ben Wilson is Russell Wilson's uncle. Just to let you know. Ben Wilson was my agent, and he sent me this note saying, hey, I got talking to a lot of scouts. They're interested in you. You got the numbers, continue hard work, and, it could be some opportunities. Well, sure enough, even though I didn't have a great stellar year, other teams game plan for me. Rodney Belfield, guy who played for Bowie State. That year, my senior year, they won the CIAA championship. A tremendous strong safety. I always kept my head on the swivel because that dude would knock your socks off. But he shared with me, recently that, hey, man, we used to watch your film. We game planned for you. So Shriver said, we got to stop him. If you stop him, we stop everybody. So he said, dude, we were just looking at it. I was like, are you pulling my leg? Because I didn't really never think like that, but folks have told me that. But anyhow, shout out to Rodney Belfield because he's in the Hall of Fame at Bowie State, a monster. Anyway, so I got a shot. So running, we had, San Francisco used to come down and watch us. Seattle scouts to come down. The Redskins scouts came down, and Buffalo scout came down. True story. In the practice at the end, I was running. San Francisco coach was watching us, work out. Robert Pickett, my cousin, was in the corner, and we were in practice. And I was, doing my thing, showing off. So I said, "Pick scout, looking over me. I'm gonna run a post corner." He said, "All right." I said, "Listen, just kind of." I don't know what they don't worry about it. So I came out on him, and he came up, and then he kind of slowed down, and I bumped him and took it to the corner, made it look real bad, but I look good. He said, man, you know you're wrong. I said, dude, I'm trying to get a shot. If I get a shot, I get money, you get money, we go to Sizzlers. But I just wanted to share that with you, man. Yeah. We had scouts come down. What my opportunity was, I thought I was going to Seattle. Seattle called my mother and asked him, where's Eric? My mother called me down in Norfolk and said, Eric, guy from Seattle called and said, where are you going to be? I said, I'm coming home. Caught the bus home. Me and my mother sat waiting for, watching the draft, 1990. Watching the draft. First, second, third, fourth. I said, I probably down like eighth. Watching the draft. Watching the draft. So now we at the supplemental draft, Crickets, no call, no nothing, no name mentioned. I'm like, okay, but maybe they made a mistake. 3 days later, talked to the agent. He said, folks from Seattle got there, on the depth chart, right? I was on the chart, but depth chart, they got the guy they wanted. They didn't get the guy they wanted. It would have been me. Didn't work out. I'm feeling bummed, all that type of stuff. And so my agent called Joe, the scout from the Redskins who had came down there, Joe Mack.
Okay.
Joe Mack was telling him, like, what? He didn't get picked up? Send him on up here to camp, right? Over Carlisle.
Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah.
No, not Carlisle. What's in Reston?
Ashburn?
Yeah, no, the Reston one. I guess that's Ashburn.
Yeah, yeah.
Come up there, because we didn't Carlisle was when they went to
training camp. Yeah.
Right. So we was at mini camp there. So I got a shot to come up there in mini camp. So I was in mini camp. Great, tremendous experience. So I'm in the locker room. So I see Mark Rippon, Monty Coleman, Alvin Walton, which is Dirty World, right? And so I'm like, man, they're huge.
Yeah.
I got my Norfolk State shimmy on. Alvin Walton's, Monty Coleman said, oh, you're coming from a small school. And that's how it is in the pros, man, at least back in the day. Coming from a small school, it's like, what? What are you even doing here? So I was there 4 days, right? I felt good about it. Thought I might have an opportunity. Until the coach said, hey, Steele, coach want to see you and bring your playbook.
Bring your playbook.
My mind is saying, I called my agent, I said, hey, I might got an opportunity. It's a minicamp, they're talking about putting my playbook. He's like, okay, well, let me know. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. You came in on a bubble, but things didn't work out. Here's your check, bye. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And so went up to me and Donnie Morris, went up to Toronto, had a shot up there because Willie Gillis, fantastic, phenomenal quarterback in Norfolk State, really gave me some opportunities to play before he left, just on the practice field, pulling me out to say, hey, this kid can play, watch me throw the ball to him, basically. He was at Toronto. So we went up there, it's on a humble, man, didn't work out. So I came back and I got with the Professional Spring Football League. Now, it was a new league before the arena ball kicked in. It was this PSFL. They had a whole, 10 teams, everybody. They had a draft. They had a combine. They had draft. I got drafted, to the Washington Marauders. Went down to DeLand, Florida for camp. Guess who's my quarterback? Major Harris was my quarterback.
Oh, from West Virginia.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Major.
Yeah.
Phenomenal athlete. Barry Wilburn, because he got in trouble, he was trying to get back into the league. He was a corner. Charlie Washington, I think. Not Charlie Taylor. Remember the Redskin from South Carolina State, Charlie Washington, I think it was? He was trying to get back in. He was down there. So, and a bunch of other guys. So we had professionals, right, who played Canadian football or played a little bit in the league and trying to get back. It was supposed to be this farm league, right, to fall right under the NFL. Mm-hmm. Well, we're in DeLand, we practicing, we good, we all that, okay? I'm on at least right now the third receiver, but we running the spread. So it's just a rotation. I'm like, man, we supposed to be playing at the RFK, was our home stadium. All is fine. Guess what?
The league folded.
League folded.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Exactly. League folded. Came on back home, man. I even had an interview with the Washington Times, and I told them about, it got shaky at the end, and I can see this coming, but, hopes and dreams, right? When people do stuff like that, these are people's hopes and dreams, and they commit to that, and then you don't do right by that.
Yeah.
On you.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that didn't work out. So I was like, okay, I'm an accountant. Let me come on back home. And one thing I tell folks, when the Lord closes one door, he
Open
opens
another.
another door.
Yes, indeed.
You got to have faith. You got to be confident. You got to believe in yourself. You got to be disciplined. So what they call, it gave me an opportunity to touch it, to feel it, to smell it, right? All those intangibles. But I guess my focus was, I guess my pathway was in the finance and the accounting side. And my career, thank you, Lord, has gone upwards since that time, man. And, and I thank the Lord for that. I thank my friends, right? I thank my mentors, Bob Winkler, Bishop Hunter, Coach Good, Mr. Lee, Mr. Gaskell in the community there.
Yeah.
Doc.
Yeah.
Of course, Mr. Moore, right? Gene Moore. Who am I forgetting? And if I forget you, please blame it on the head, not the heart. Just phenomenal mentors that you see them in the community, steady Eddies, doing things, but always got a positive word or criticism if they have to put you on the right page. So yeah, man. So if I tell folks all the time about my road to, if you want to call it success, it's just, I always say I'm already home, man. So you can't listen to everything what people say, positive or negative. You got to be your own person, and you got to believe in something, and you got to have a dream, and you got to follow it, and don't let anyone steer you away from it. And so that's always been kind of, who I am. And I think folks sometimes think I'm misunderstood. I mean, sometimes I think people misunderstand me because I like to see Buck, Tony, Sid, Rodney, Kenya, Lewis, Jackie, my cousin Pick, all my NSU fellas. But the guys in the Green Valley, when Daryl Dunbar, when I see you guys doing stuff, I'm not saying it's, I had some, but if I had any hand in a part of that, man, that brings joy to me, right? At the end of the day, man, and this is the sentimental piece, this Wakefield jersey. I got cut from Wakefield basketball twice. And when I saw Tony, and you guys, Tony, phenomenal over your career, man, at Wakefield, taking them kids out of the Green Valley, molding them, not just to play ball, to be successful in life, investing in them, and that's what I appreciate. But when I asked you for this jersey, it's like, sure, man, no problem. You see where that heart is? You see where it's coming from?
Yeah.
I just wanted to wear Wakefield basketball.
Yeah, right. That's
so
right,
thank you, man. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So let me go back again because I'm a manager. Okay.
Stats,
I was
man.
listening now. You said you had a scout watching you, and you told Robert Pickett what route you was gonna run.
Yes.
And he still tried to undercut the route. And you did you burn him or did he let you? I mean, how did it go? He let you get by him? Because Pickett don't let nobody get by him.
No.
Exactly. So here's the piece. So I went by him.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Hey, Robert, you hear that, Robert? Hey, I know you're in the Hall of Fame and all that, Robert Pickett, but he went by you, my man. He went by you. Hey, even got a scout to say that's why they signed him, because he went by you.
And then I laughed at him.
Damn!
Hey, second thing, though. You said mentors. Man, how do you forget Mama Steele?
Well, see, that's not a mentor.
Oh.
Listen, we definitely gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
We gotta get to it right now. I got to hear about Mama Steele.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you talk about the ladies, Mom is the rock. That's the foundation. That's the omega and the beginning and the end. That, my mom was the rock for me, right? And so, she is someone, for me, everybody's mother, everyone feels that way. But my mother was dad, mom, coach, criticizer, warden.
Yes.
Judge, jury, and executioner. And she was all that, but she was love, support, honest, giving, caring. So all those rich adjectives like that, man. That's what I'm talking about. We didn't have that, but we wasn't poor with all those other things that my mother brought to the table. And then again, it takes a village. You have folks, you know, I hope you know, Tony's mom, Alma. When we used to come, see, this is what I'm talking about, folks, about unconditional commitment to the village, right? So we come, Lewis Hunter went to Norfolk State as well. We used to come home trying to get a summer job. Now we're in school. So we want any job, but we work at Burger King and Rite Aid and, you know, cutting grass and stuff. And I'll tell you about, well, I cut more grass. I cut more weeds. I planted more tulips. I washed more cars. I painted more houses for a dude that grew up in apartments his whole life, right, and did more yard work than anybody grew in the house. Anyhow, all I'm saying. But Alma, she made sure, I think she was the director at a temporary agency. Yeah. And I'm telling you, she was the part of that village of folks, you know, like Nita Winkler, no folk, but Alma, she made sure we got real jobs, not labor jobs. We were over in the government contracting job doing data entry. I remember she got me a job at Riggs National Bank. True story, I tell my mom this all the time. At Riggs National Bank and the lockbox department. These people did not want me to go back to school. They were gonna offer me $18,000 at 19 years old. Yeah. Huh? But you say, Buck, you go back to that rock. That Murray still said, no. You go back down to Norfolk. You know, that was not even an option. Plus, I played football. So I go back to that village, man. That village is something. It's not just a metaphor. It's not just something to say because it sounds good and you want to. No, that village meant something to me and a lot of other guys in Green Valley. Yeah. Because you could have easily gone the other way, but the village made sure that nah, we're not going to happen. And so I always pay homage, respect, and appreciate the love and the unconditional support that the village gave me. Poor kid from Arlington, man. So I'm blessed.
And I'll say real quick, like I want to keep talking about Miss Steele because you know that's my lady, Mary. That's my lady. And Eve, what she did for you, raising you, she not only raised you, but she raised all of us. Yes. And when we came over to the house, we was treated no different than you were treated. And she see you in the street or whatever. If you was doing wrong, she would correct you or whatever. And like you talk about Mr. McKinney, still having that respect for him, it's the same way with Miss Steele to this day. No matter who, remember she would get the articles in the newspaper and she would call you while you was at school and saying Tony was doing this. She's saving the articles. It was, you know, Miss Steele was everything for us growing up, man. So for you having her every day, we was just blessed to have Miss Steele, man. So I want to thank Miss Steele for sharing, you know, herself with the village, you know.
And she's still doing it to this day because she even got my baby. She got Reagan up in the house, man. Yes. And Reagan come home talking about, oh, I love Miss Steele. I love her. Yes.
That's because, you know why, Buck? She loved Reagan so much. She had to deal with Eric. She never had no girls. So can you imagine dealing with just Eric in the house? God.
I was a piece of work. But if I may, I want to go back to the spirits, right? And the connection of the Green Valley and just Arlington. But I'm just talking about Green Valley. But you talk about, you know, Buck, when you mentioned about my mom and Reagan. I mean, Tony, you know, I seen Buck when we used to go play basketball up there, but I just saw as that's a little Buck, you know, playing basketball. You know, right. I didn't know, you know, all that history that he had in terms of being an athlete. Yeah. So when we really hooked up as adults, right, as, you know, men, through with Reagan and my daughter Seidel, man, I just saw him, he was a totally different person, right? You know, congenial, you know, funny as heck, real dude, you know, compassionate about whatever he's involved in, but definitely compassionate about his kids and his family. But that same compassion he has his kids and his family, man, he is compassionate about, you know, the kids in the communities. Definitely. And you see that. You see the investment that you and him, you and Buck put into the community.
Yeah.
You see the return in the kids that come out.
Yep.
And it's good that we still have that. It's still not about you guys they're making you look good.
Yeah.
It's you investing in them to
Yep.
produce productive citizens down the line.
Yeah.
That's what I like, man.
I think that's why Buck and I have like kind of started these shows, because we think about the guys who helped us pave the way. And so we just want to pay homage to the guys that did it, before us, and that we looked up to. And so, that's why I'm happy to have Eric on the show today to tell his story. And as close as I am to Eric, because I've been like a little brother to Eric, I'll tell a quick little story though, Eric. I know you remember this story. When I went to Norfolk State, of course, I wanted to go to Norfolk State, be like Eric Steele, and play football. And I got down there, and those guys were huge. So I just figured out I'm just going to go to school, have a good time my freshman year, whatever it may be. Well, I got into a little incident down at school. One of the football players on the team, kind of roughed me up a little bit. And so I said, yo, my cousin is Eric Steele. Are you crazy? I'm about to go call Eric Steele right now, and he going to mess you up. And the big guy, I ain't going to say his name. I'm going to say his name. I don't care. It was years ago. Jason Whittingham. Jason Whittingham was about 6'9". And I'm like 5'6", nothing. And we playing a video game, and I was laughing at him, and he roughed me up a little bit.
What you doing? No, let's go, bro. Bro, put that shit down, bro.
And I told him I was gonna call you, and we were over at Leroy Hainsworth and Troy, over at their apartment across the street. I walked all the way back over to the dorms at Norfolk State to call you on the payphone. I get over there, Jason followed me, and Jason's over there. I'm like, I'm calling E Steele right now. Jason's like, call him. So it was no effect. And it took me away a little bit, because I'm like, that's my cousin, Eric Steele. You supposed to be scared. He's like, call him. So in that instance, I said, you know what, hold on. I'm going to call my cousin Pickett. Jason Whittingham, 6'9", all of them bent down to 5'6". Please don't call Pickett. You can call Eric, but don't call Pickett. Please don't call Pickett. I'll never forget that story. And after that, my freshman year at Norfolk State was great, because Jason Whittingham did everything I needed for him, because he was afraid of Pickett. Not Eric Steele, but Pickett.
So, there's always two sides, right? So, Pickett and I, Pickett, tremendous guy, man, great guy. I love he's like my brother.
Yeah.
Same age and everything. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's always good to have that one cousin just might take you out,
Yes.
And so, it's always good to have him. So, So
my time at Norfolk,
Pickett was able to help you out there.
I only brought your name up when it came to sports, but if I had any issues, I brought up Pickett's name.
There you go.
So let me go back real quick. Tony, you said your mama name was Elma?
Oh, here we go.
I thought her name was Plumpsy.
That was her nickname that the village
Oh, the village gave her Plumpsy.
gave her Plunksy. Her nickname was
Oh, because I always call her Mama Plumpsy.
Mama Plunksy. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
thought
added
her
on.
name was Elma.
Alma's her first name.
Oh, okay. But I'm going to still call her Mama Plumpsy.
See,
See,
there we go. This dude, man.
Sorry, Tony.
I swear. So, but with that saying, man, this has been a great show. Man, Eric Steele, you know what you mean to me. I can say it here on camera. I can say it to your face. I can say it to anybody. Eric Steele meant a lot to me growing up. Quick story, Eric. I know we've been rolling, man. Eric, you remember, you probably was at Wakefield, and me and Kenya's football team was the Beast. We go and play in a championship game out in Maryland. And we was 110, but we had to play against 120 guys. And they was tearing us up. And you, Lewis, Rodney was on the sideline. And we was coming out the game crying because we was cold. We was getting beat up. And y'all jumped on us some kind of bad, man. Like, we had no chance to win the game, but because of what you instilled in us behind the church, like, we never quit. We never quit. We went back in the game, and we knew we was going to get our asses beat, but I would rather get my ass beat by them than come back to that sideline to face you and that lecture we were going to get if we didn't go back out in those games, man. So, you know, we talk about this throughout these shows. We're going to have guests on here that we all intertwine some way, somehow with everybody, man. And, like, you know, again, we named the show Legends or whatever. Easter, you've always been a legend to me. on and off the football field, the basketball court. And so I want to take this time, I know Buck can say something, just to thank you for what you did for my career as a youth, playing sports and things like that. And then also growing up, and now we got your daughter at Wakefield, and the youngest daughter, she's on the way. So we, you know, they gonna hate it because we gonna let them talk to no boys or nothing like that, you know.
There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. See,
The village.
The village.
Follow suit.
The village. Yeah.
The village, man. The village.
But
All right, I just got like 10 questions for you. It's just like a speed round, my man.
This guy, man, I tell you.
But, man, it's just quick because I want people to know, Eric Steele. It's
Okay.
very simple, my man.
I do the best I can.
Rapid fire, man. You gotta choose one, okay? Would you rather get a phone call or a text?
Text.
So you don't like to talk to anybody. So I mean, so you one of them new what they call millennials, but you're not a millennial.
Right.
You're sitting right next to your daughter and saying, "Son, come here," and you text. That ain't right, man.
Because I don't have to hear all the yada yada yada.
Okay, I'm saying you just looking at you sitting down. I mean, you see these broad shoulders. That mean I'm working out every day. So so I'm gonna give it to you. You like cardio or you like to lift weights?
Weights.
Okay.
It don't look like it.
I'm gonna say he ain't got the guns like Buck, but okay. While you walking, I know at this age we don't do the running like Tony Bentley who runs 12, 13 miles every day.
Unbelievable.
I think he's trying to catch Forrest Gump or some shit. I don't know. but at your age and my age, we like to walk. So while you walking, are you listening to a podcast or are you getting it in with with a little DMX or little Jay-Z? I mean, which one do you prefer?
So it's two things. If everybody know me, it's go-go.
Oh.
Now, put your Gucci watch on, synchronize your time, and let's go.
You got some go-go playing or Jay-Z.
Okay. Now this is kind of a stupid question, but now after I heard the interview, I'm going maybe. Now is it football or basketball that you want to watch?
Football.
But you want to wear a basketball jersey. Hey, Belgian, you're wrong, man. You're wrong, Belgian. Okay. What's worse?
That was good, Buck. That was good.
Doing laundry or doing the dishes?
Ooh, now that's interesting because...
Now, hold on, because your wife watching now. You probably don't do neither one, so you better be careful how you answer this.
Okay, so let me go up full disclosure. So I love my wife, Nicole, my son, Devin, Sadell, Sayana, my girls, and my oldest girl, Taylor. So just putting it all out there. Out of those two, I hate washing dishes. I can't stand it. That's why I got a dishwasher.
I know that's right. So since you say if you made it big, yeah, I mean you big now, but you made it a little big. Would you prefer to buy a new car or a new truck?
Probably a truck.
Truck. Yeah, see, I'm leaning to that thing right now because you get a truck. Now you can put all kind of stuff in the back. You got to move your kids
Absolutely.
around. Yeah. I'm leaning towards that too. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Come on, my man. Yeah, listen, man. The waffle come like that. You can cut it in full.
See, the pancakes are just easy. You can bend it and put it in your mouth and eat it.
What did he say?
Okay, here we go. Now this one's gonna be tough on you because, like you said, I know your wife watching.
Nicole.
You like to save money or you like to spend money?
Woo.
Woo.
Come on, Buck. You can't do that on the big screen. That's man's law. See, you ain't from Green Valley. See? The guys don't ask those questions.
Hey, you on the hot seat though, my man.
True. It's a little hot in here. So, can you repeat the question?
Would you like to save money or spend money?
So, I like to do whatever my wife likes.
Happy wife, happy life.
Good answer.
I like to save money.
I'm with you, my man. Okay, I got two more questions. In the morning, would you rather have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea?
Oh, absolutely. The strongest coffee that you can have. Absolutely. Coffee.
Wow. I thought you'd probably be more like a waterman. So that's just me. Okay, last question, because you know
That's Tony.
That's me.
hey, that's from all that running he doing.
He done missed his
My
calling,
bad.
but you need to be on stage, man.
Hey, this is the
Well, you
last
are
question
on
today, my
stage.
man. This is the last question because every time I think I see you in the car, like you taking a road trip or whatever, you always drive. So would you rather be the driver on a long trip or the passenger?
I'm already home. I'm driving.
Okay.
Control it. Yes. I'm not a control freak, but I'm driving.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, and I appreciate the questions you've been on the hot seat, man. Hey, this is wonderful, man. I appreciate you, E-Chill, man. This is great.
Absolutely, man.
Well,
Tony
guys,
B, you got anything else, Tony B?
No, man, we just gonna close it out, man. I know we're gonna talk more when we close out, but this has been great, man. Again, Buck, another great show, man, and having Eric Steele on here, man. Now people will not call him Eric. He's Steele.
He's still, and they'll remember 3 years on JV.
3 years, baby.
I love it. I love it.
You too can be successful at 3 years playing JV.
Hey, Buck, put that on the shirt, man. Put that on the shirt.
Only at Wakefield, baby.
Yeah, Wakefield. Oh, man. Great show, man. E, we'll talk to you soon, man.
Okay,
Yes,
guys.
thank
Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Thank you again. Take care. God bless.
All right, brother.
All right.